What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Darkness Assassin here, and before I officially leave for sure, oh my freaking nose, Jesus, I'm going to read a Skinwalker story for you, and just so you know, this is from a person in Wisconsin, I do believe. Yep, Wisconsin Skinwalker on our paranormal on Reddit. If you guys want to check this out, go onto Reddit and look up our paranormal. I am not logged in or registered. I am logged in. Well, I have a login. I just don't use it because I'm not on Reddit at all. So, yeah. Let us get into the video. And by the way, I am a freaking Skinwalker, basically fanatic. And every time I hear a noise out of the blue, I basically run into my house. Well, I grab my phone, turn on the flashlight, investigate around my property, and if I hear a noise out of the blue that is not normal, I run back inside. And now that I heard one, I have my entrances locked and I have my windows locked and closed. So yeah, I'm pretty fucking petrified, and I'm looking at my window right now, and I see the crescent moon. Hello, crescent moon. But anyways, let's go. This is by the user The Biggest Dump. Okay. Hey guys, this story is one my dad told us when we were younger, and as I browsed this subreddit, I have brought up that I think his story is a skinwalker. If not, feel free for suggestions. This is in central Wisconsin when my dad was around, not even a teenager yet. Wisconsin was even more rural. Hold on. Oh, it's HD. Naruto wallpapers. Yeah, I have Naruto wallpapers. Hold on. Rural. 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 Okay, okay. I don't need to know the definition. I might look at it later. Okay. Was even more rural back then, and the area has since become more city. Anyways, story. One, need to change places because one, I'm petrified and I don't want to die. Freaking, I want to die at least on a recliner. I'm on a recliner right now because I'm my phone's dying. It's at 5% now. Anyway, story. My dad and his friend grew up country and always walked woods, trails, swamping land, etc. Not much else to do, but my dad said him and his friend were walking a path in one of these spots one day, and his black cat kept this black cat kept following them. Anytime they stopped to look at the cat, the cat stopped and looked at them. He said they would try. After a few minutes, they started walking faster, and the cat kept following. Apparently, they both got a very bad feeling and said they don't even look back anymore. Once they said and said that and started walking again, they heard this dark, evil laughter and turned around to see a man in super old school, all black attire walking away, laughing into the brush. So they freaked out, obviously, and ran away. Part 2! Exclamation point. I might get something to drink later. So this part was something my dad told me last year. I did not know. My grandpa was friends with this older guy who lived around the area, and I guess my dad knew him and would stop by after this cat thing. My dad came by one time and started telling the story. Apparently it freaked this guy out real bad. He said he had been outside doing whatever, and all of a sudden this pure black dog comes by and starts staring him down, then growling, and the guy had a super uneasy feeling and started backing up to his door. Apparently, the moment he turned his back, he rushed in and slammed the door shut, and this dog had lunged at the door, barking and scratching crazy for a minute, then went silent. This guy said he then heard this evil laughter and looked out the window to see the same guy my dad saw, all black, old school clothes from the 1800s, walking away, laughing, and disappear. My dad swears to this day he didn't make it up and does not tell anyone. He hates me ever sharing it as well. Ever thinking he is dishonest, as well as ever thinking he is dishonest. So I have no idea what this really is, but wanted to share. I check this sub usually every night, so feel free to comment. Okay. So that's weird. Okay. I'm just clicking the comments at this point. Hold on. Open a new tab. I have a freaking Nerf gun with me for some reason. Alright, so while we're at it, might as well read another haunted location. Okay. I will be right back. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm on the Reddit app. The Hat Man. The girl in the corner. Our first home. Certain girls are attracted to those who fear them. A doll that came back. Lost time, not sure what happened. A psychic saved my life. an experience with my ancestors. French Quarter Terror. Okay. How about we do, for this episode, let's do the Hat Man, then make our way down. Okay. The Hat Man encounter, submitted by user JJ48188, 6 hours ago. The fuck? Okay. When I was young, maybe about 10 or 11, I was sitting in my room wide awake during a lightning storm. Now, my room was almost a perfect square. In the upper left-hand corner of my room, from a bird's-eye angle, was my bed running along the left wall. At the bottom of the square, from my bird's-eye angle, was my closet. Then my door to the bottom right. Along the right wall, there was simply a large dresser. You have a closet and a large dresser. Okay. I know someone who is like that too. I was laying in my bed looking out the window to the lit hallway when some lightning flashed outside. A moment later, the door slammed shut. A shadow figure was immediately there, red eyes, trench coat, and of course, a fucking fedora. A fucking fedora. I'm not even scared at the moment. Right now, I'm calm now. But a fucking fedora? He was there for a split second, then he was gone, and I never saw him again. I don't remember what happened afterward, except that the door was magically open again, and he was gone. I never forgot this. I thought about it a lot, like every day, for years as a child, and still think about it till to this day pretty often. Now, many years later, probably about a decade or so, I decide, I'll Google it and see what pops up. Imagine my shock and horror when I hear many, many people have witnessed this. Gentlemen, I read he appears in violent environments or abusive environments. I grew up in an extremely abusive household during that time. It was violence and anger all day. Anger every day, all day. I don't know why he chose to appear to me, but I never forgot him. I felt he was me. For quite some time. I never saw him again. I just felt as he was protecting me, almost. It was very odd. I should state I'm a skeptic. Had this not happened to me, I don't think it'd entertain the possibility of ghosts or other worldly entities. Callum. I just wanted to know what you might think about it. Person, I've read it. What's a bird's eye angle? Am I missing something? Think OP meant angle. Bird's eye angle. I think OP meant angle. But no idea what a bird's eye angle is. As in, you see something as though looking straight down on it as a bird would whilst flying. Okay. That is a creepy. That's a creepy indeed. Alright. How much time we got? We got a lot of time. Hold on. Now the last episode of the day. It is 10:23 at night. As you can see, I have a text from my girlfriend that I'm gonna... Okay. She's AFK, I think. I'm gonna verify. Soon. The girl in the corner. Okay. I've saw something like that, kind of like this before. So this is something that actually happened to my mom and her sister. Hold on, I'm gonna move that right there. Okay. User English Muffin 1. The English Muffin. Okay. By the way, no, I wasn't punched in the face with this eye. It's just this eye, I can see through it perfectly. It just looks like this one is closed more than this one. But yet they're fine. I can see through them perfectly. It just looks like I'm fucking dead ass tired, about to fall asleep. This one, but I look like I'm fine in this one. I don't get it. Possibly a lazy eye, I don't know. But So this is something that actually happened to my mom and her sister when they were growing up in their family home. My mom was her mid-teens, and her sister was a few years younger than her. My mom said that fairly soon after moving into this house, she could see something out of the corner of her eye. I don't think it was every day, but once in a while, if she could see out the corner of her eye, her peripherals. A little girl dressed in old-timey clothes, she said it looked colonial, standing in the corner of the house, just staring blankly. She couldn't get more detailed look that that than that, because if you tried to look directly at her, she wouldn't be there. She was always in a corner, and was always hiding in her peripherals. At first, this obviously terrified my mom because it looked pretty spooky to feel/see someone standing in corners staring at you in broad daylight. But after a while, she said she came to accept it and it didn't bother her anymore. She said she got the sense that it wasn't anything evil, and all it really did was stare. She never told anyone in her family because she knew they would call her crazy, as I'm sure most people would. Fast forward to a few years ago, to 2014 to 2015. Hold on, what was this? Okay, 5 hours ago. And my mom and her sister are obviously grown women now. We were all together for the holidays, sitting around our living room, and my mom decided to finally tell the story to her parents and the rest of the family because it's been so long. Who cares, right? My mom, her sister, lost it. I guess she had seen the same little girl in corners growing up and was also too afraid to say anything. The weirdest part of all of this, my mom said the day they moved out that house, they were driving away and she peeked back at the house and saw the little girl standing on the front porch waving. She didn't have to look in her peripherals to see her. She could look directly at her as they were driving away. Okay, that actually scared me. The fuck? Okay, turning on notifications frequently. Okay, let's see. How much time we got? Okay, it's right there. What time? Okay, we got time for one more story. Our first house by user Purple Hippo 25690 7 hours ago. Back in 2011, we bought our first house. It was built in 1973 or so. Until this house Yeah, I'm gonna fucking go to sleep after it. After basically. Am I gonna edit this? I don't know. I don't think so. It doesn't need editing, I don't think. One day, my daughter. Okay, one day, my daughter. Okay, hold on. Back in 2011, we bought our first home. It was built back in 1973 or so. Until this house, I'd never experienced anything paranormal or strange. One day, my daughter, who was about 3.5, came up to me while I was making lunch and said, "Mommy, there's a stranger in the bathroom." I immediately freaked out because I'm thinking, how could anyone get in? The front door and windows were all shut and alarmed to beep if opened, and I'm right there by the sliding patio door. After I panicked, searched over the whole house, I found absolutely no one. Later, after questioning by my husband, she said a lady came through the closed door and got into the tub and took a bath with her baby. I could hardly bring myself to go in that bathroom for several weeks after that. Several years later, we were getting ready to leave that house. My husband randomly asked me one night if I'd ever seen the little shadow that would run past our bedroom door. I got goosebumps because I thought I was the only one who had seen that. Late at night, from the recliner in the corner, I would see a small child-sized movement past our bedroom door, as think it was one of the children sneaking out of bed. When I checked, everyone was sound asleep. The last weird thing also happened after, right before we moved. We were having dinner when our daughter jumped and claimed someone had patted her on the back. I finally decided whatever was in our house was saying goodbye to her. One odd thing. Upstairs, the farthest room was one of those little attic doors in the wall. We opened it once and found an old picture of a little blonde boy in it. Nothing terribly scary, just interesting occurrences in our first home. Okay, I wondered that in one of the closets upstairs it smelled like pee, and we wondered if a child was kept up there. Of course, kids are known to pee in weird places for no reason. The things we experienced there never felt hostile. It was just a bit spooky. Now, across the street, after losing his wife and his house, I wouldn't just, I wouldn't want to live there. Wait, hold on. Now, across the street, the homeowner hung himself in the garage after losing his wife in his house. I wouldn't want to live there. Okay. Hold on. I'm a film student who is going to make a doco about friends' supernatural experiences. Okay. Let's do this. Advice/discuss. Okay. La Llorona. This stands out as one of the scariest and most bizarre experiences I've ever. Okay. User by The Thug. One day ago. This stands out as one of the scariest and most bizarre experiences I've ever had. The most vivid and intense dream I ever had involved me walking through a forest by myself. It was daytime. Both sides of the path are covered in vines and greenery. I'm walking down this dirt path. This dirt path, not dirt. The cascading tree leaves above letting beams of light onto the forest floor. I'm walking and looking at the sides of my path. All of a sudden, in my path, across a discarded beanie baby of a leopard, silly, etc. But I look into my hand. I keep walking. But I take it into my hand. I keep walking. The beams of light coming in from above are extremely beautiful and vivid. I'm walking, Beanie Baby in hand, and then above me, then ahead of me, I see two children, a boy and a girl. They are about 8 through 10, or 8 to 10. Or 8 or 10. I don't fucking know. They are dressed in all white. The boy's face is dirtied, and he is the. Okay. A boy and a girl. They are about 8 through 10. They are all dressed in white. The boy's face is dirtier. He is younger of the two, and he is crying. The slightly older sister is trying to comfort her. As I approach, she looks up into my eyes as if she is so relieved to see me. I don't feel panicky. I just know I have to help these kids. Are you lost? I ask them. They don't reply. The boy rubs his tearful eyes. The girl looks up into mine. All of a sudden, I am holding both the girls' and boys' hands. On either side of me, I am walking down the narrow dirt path. With them, the boys holding the Beanie Baby, and I was no longer crying. The girls looking determinedly ahead. Everything is peaceful, and I am feeling calm. Hold on. I'm gonna unlock the door now. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Oop. Jesus. Almost lost you. Alright. Let's read. All of a sudden, the path beneath us begins to widen into a clearing. Began gripping my hand harder. I can't make out what the voice is saying, but it's a woman. I quicken the pace and I try to get to the path I see on the other side of this clearing. The boy trips over, but is still holding my hand. I turn to the girl and I say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she looks absolutely terrified, eyes now closed. The boy trips over again. I turn around to help him up. I feel stupid and horrifically panicked. But that's when I see her behind me. A dirtied, unknownable. Okay. A dirtied, unknowable woman-like thing. I couldn't see her face. 8 feet tall. She looked like a literal void of darkness. And the moment I looked, and the moment I locked eyes on her form, the screams started to reverberate throughout my hand. I think about the boy and girl, and the woman rushes towards me, and she screams, "Di la Murete. Di la Murete." Craziest things about this dream. Di la Murete of death in Spanish. I do not speak Spanish, but have never spoken Spanish. And at this time, I was living in France. I wrote the dream down the moment I woke up, and it was the most vivid. I don't care. And it was the most vivid dream I had.
In here. Like terribly stinks in here.
Okay.
I want the rest of this house cleaned tomorrow. Did you guys rinse out the fish tank yet? Yes.
The most.
Probably should have put these on the bottom.
That was not. Why don't you just mix them?
Okay, hold on. As it was the most vivid dream I had ever had in my entire life. The most interesting part, upon reading back, was the fact that children didn't speak to me or answer my questions. Now I realize it may be because I was speaking to them in English. I Google translated what Di la Moretti was the moment I woke up, and also was stunned. I thought it was French at first until I then Googled the overall theme of the dream and found out about La Llorona and the folklore about her in Spanish-speaking places. I had never heard of La Llorona before Googling the dream. I have never been exposed to Spanish media. I am African American. It has blown my fucking mind until I had a dream about this without any plural knowledge at all in both the language or the myth. Anyway, that's it. just wanted to add to the weird fucking visions of this woman. I've heard in some of the myths about her that if you dream about her to see her or see her in real life, you are marked for death, or your children are. I have no children. I had this dream around 8 years ago, but I recently found the journal. I wrote the dream down and was freaked out by the whole situation over again.
Okay, come on, now. You should have came off of it at all.
Truly stands as one of the most unexplainable truly stands as one of the most unexplainable things I've ever experienced, and a total mind fuck. Okay, we've been recording for 38 minutes and 36 minutes. So anyways, that is all for a long fucking time. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment if you feel like it. I read the comments all the time, and I reply to some. I still will. But anyways, if you enjoyed the La Llorona, I am French, and this would offend me a lot. If you enjoyed La Llorona, hold on. Our First Home, The Girl in the Corner, and The Hat Man, and Skinwalker, Wisconsin Skinwalker. Don't forget to tell me, like, and as always, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.